Ladies and gentlemen of the media, thank you so much for attending this very important press briefing, even at a very short notice. Your unflinching support in strengthening our democracy, safeguarding and protecting our constitution has been tremendous. Admittedly, some of you in the media also have some shortcomings. Notwithstanding, you have heard of a few success stories of our democracy today. I call you here today in my capacity as a citizen first before my party, the All People's Congress, APC. The day has come for me to add my voice, speak up to power as done by others, so that we can collectively make Ghana a safer and a better place to live. Let me use this opportunity to thank God the Almighty for giving me another opportunity to live by saving me from COVID-19 pandemic, and also thank my humble and hard-working wife for her love, support, prayers, dedication throughout my struggles with COVID. Help me thank all the doctors, nurses, EMT, orderlies of International Maritime Hospital, IMA, for saving my life, and also to those who interceded on my behalf. I am very grateful. Finally, I want to thank my father, the Chief Imam, Dr. Sheikh Usman Nuhu Sharuti, for his prayers and blessings, including all the imams, pastors, families, many Ghanaians who supported me with prayers and their blessings throughout my stay in the hospital. I spent 17 days in the hospital, 14 days on oxygen, and I must say it was a very different experience, and I thank God for everything. Let's all make it a point to go for the vaccine and protect ourselves and our loved ones. COVID-19 is real, and it is not over yet. I am appealing to all Ghanaians to continue to wear their face masks, wash their hands regularly. We all know that because of COVID-19 pandemic, nations have gone through a lot of economic challenges. Ghana is not an exception. Many countries have gone on their knees begging for support. Others too have gotten support for their people. The global pandemic has cost many people's lives, livelihood, businesses, worsen unemployment situation. And now our country was already suffering before COVID, regardless of government propaganda claiming otherwise, and it's worsening after COVID, and I bet we all agree. But I know some stimulus packages were rolled out and many people did not get it. Government must account to Ghanaians on COVID-19 funds. Ladies and gentlemen, we are now in serious crisis, very serious crisis. Our debt stock has increased from 120 billion Ghana cedis from 2016 to 341 billion Ghana cedis in 2021. What it means is that in the past 6 years, the MPP government has doubled our debt stock from 120 to 340. They have increased 221 billion in just 6 years. Our debt stock is at its highest peak, and our debt stock is 78% of our GDP. We have borrowed so much, and yet we don't have good roads, hospitals, schools, markets. We are still struggling to build, yet we have nothing to show for our borrowing. In the recent 2022 budget statement, the Finance Minister, Honorable Ken Ofori-Atta, said their government will introduce Youth Start with 1 billion Ghana cedis to create 1 million jobs. It is good to empower the youth of this country. But let's hope that it will not increase our debt stock again. Because they have not told us how they intend to create that revenue to spend 1 billion yearly on the youth and the staff. One of the policies of the APC is create graduate financing fund to support graduates to help start their own businesses and create jobs. But I wish to advise the government to look up to the APC to help them roll out that policy very well, since they have decided to lift it without consulting us. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, despite the borrowings, all projects, which include schools, hospitals, abandoned Sagleme projects, which were initiated by previous government, are at a standstill. Weeds, rodents, pests have taken control of these projects at various villages and communities across the country. Meanwhile, students are still sitting under trees who need decent classroom to learn. I want the government to know that governance is a continuous business. And I'm calling the government as a matter of urgency to try as much as possible to complete all abandoned projects from previous governments, so that we do not waste our resources. Ladies and gentlemen, when the finance minister announced that the government intends to scrap off toll booth fees, many people started talking about the issue of hawkers and others. But I am appealing to government to roll out a policy for street hawkers. I personally think it's a good idea not to take tolls again. That's my opinion. And I applaud the government for that initiative. That's also my opinion. Tolls on those dilapidated roads, was a rip-off. It was our taxes that was used to build those roads. And paying road tolls on them again was very wrong. Very wrong. Because you used our money to build our roads, and then you come again and say we should pay tolls on the same road that you used our money to build. If it was a private company that have built those roads with their own money, and they are taking tolls, then we will say, yes, they are recouping their money. But this was our money that was used to build the tolls. So government does not have the right, doesn't have the right to take tolls again. So that was a good initiative from them. This morning, the dollar equivalent to the cedi, 6 cedis, 30 pesos, respectively. I hope Dr. Bamia is in the country. The rate at which the cedi is depreciating is affecting businesses gruesomely. We produce economists every year. Every year, a lot of economists graduate from universities. And yet, we cannot manage our city properly. I'm very sad that the one-time economic guru, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, is now running away from economic fundamentals to digitalization. That when the fundamentals are weak, the city will expose you. Now the fundamentals are weak, and digitalization is exposing us. Mr. Vice President, if you are still in Ghana, kindly remember to digitalize our city. Because it's very important to digitalize our city. If the government thinks digitalization is the way forward, then they should look for the APC 2020 manifesto and implement our policy on the national database. It will help them understand digitalization and how it works. Ghana needs a national data system to help build a country devoid of corruption, mismanagement, and weak institutions. You cannot build a serious country without a proper database. A database will help you capture information of every Ghanaian, fingerprints, facial recognition, date of birth, number of cars you have, number of houses you have, where your blood sample, where you work, whether you have a job or not. All these things will be captured in the database, and it will now give information to other institutions. When the government decided to implement the new Ghana card in 2018, I advised them first to start with a national database, because that will help them produce a unique Ghana card. But they did not list it. As we speak, my wife and I have applied for Ghana card since February 2019. Since February 2019. And we still don't have our cards. Now, many Ghanaians have also registered for their cards and still cannot get access to them. You cannot produce a serious Ghana card without a national data system. Now we are faced with network challenges, according to them, missing cards, unprinted cards. People cannot do their daily transaction anymore because of lack of Ghana card. The government has issued directives not to accept any form of identification apart from Ghana card. And since when has the Ghana card become more acceptable than a passport? I went to the MTN to register my cars and track them. And I was told to produce a Ghana card. And I said, I have a passport. And they said, Mr. Ayarega, we cannot take your passport. And I asked them, what is the essence of asking for my Ghana card? They say identification. What is the purpose of the passport? They say identification. I say, why are you not accepting it? They say, because it's directed from government. So right now, as we sit, 3 days ago, or the Friday, I was at the Abokobi Register Center, and they said they cannot find my Ghana up to date. So I'm tired of running for my Ghana card. So the media should help me treat my Ghana card. Okay? Help me trace my Ghana card so that I can register and track my cars. The suffering of Ghanaians is never an ending one under this government, with unemployment rate witnessing its highest record form. In this, we continue to get conflicting figures from government appointees who are very skillful at quoting figures without shame each time they are confronted with questions on job creation. Government needs to create an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. We have used all our resources to guarantee for loans, and we have not applied any measures to pay back the loans. In the last budget, there was we did not hear any measures or policy on paying back this huge debt that we have borrowed so far. So what it means is that your great-grandchildren will have to pay. Ladies and gentlemen, government has just announced a 1.75% e-levy on mobile money transactions. Some sections of Ghanaians are worried. Yes, we are worried. Because we pay when sending money and also pay when receiving the money. The government must sit with the telecoms to agree on one-way payment. Ghanaians cannot pay 2.7% when sending, and again pay another 2.75% when receiving the same money. It's double taxation on the same transaction. Because telecoms are charging 1%, MTN is charging 1%. Government is now going to charge another 1.75%, making it 2.75%. So what it means is that when you send 1,000 Ghana cedis, you will pay 2.75%. When your friend or your brother is going to receive the same 1,000 Ghana cedis, he's now also going to pay again for the same amount to receive. This is wickedness. And we are asking for a one-time payment, so that you pay when you are sending, but when you are receiving, you don't pay. Am I right? Because you pay double. Don't you pay double? Thank you. Fellow Ghanaians, going forward as a nation in indebtedness, Do we continue to borrow or do we tax? Do we borrow or do we tax? I believe we have gotten to the crossroad where borrowing is not an option anymore, but taxation and production is the best option for us now. We need to widen our tax network, institute proper channels to collect tax properly. We cannot continue to borrow. We have to move from borrowing to production, manufacturing, and taxation. Nations are better off when its citizens decide to contribute towards its development. The taxes we pay should be used to build schools, roads, hospitals, homes, infrastructure, and etc. Now my question is, can we trust the government to make good decisions with our taxes? Because we need the roads, we need the hospitals, and we need the schools. And we cannot continue to say we should borrow, because all our resources, we've used that as collateral for borrowing. Our bauxite, our oil, everything. We are borrowing. Now we have gotten the crossroad. Do we contribute to build our country or do we keep borrowing? I believe that Ghanaians really want to pay taxes, but they do not want to pay nuisance taxes. Taxes that will not inure to their development. Because that's the only way to go now. Government must stop borrowing. Must stop borrowing. Enough is enough of the borrowing. This country is suffering due to the loud silence of the clergy, Peace Council, some civil society organizations whose voices have always been loud enough at other times, but have suddenly gone to sleep and not awakened. What has changed? Let us all rise above pettiness and greed, and let us speak truth to power and save our country from sinking. The people of Ghana are suffering. Nurses are suffering. Doctors are suffering. Policemen are suffering. Engineers are suffering. Media men are suffering. And media women are suffering. The suffering is now too much. The hardship is killing people slowly. Let us not keep mute and refuse to talk on behalf of our people who do not have a voice of their own. Fuel prices are on the rise every day. Every day, prices of fuel is now, I think the fuel price is now 6.9 a liter. We are paying more than any other country in the world, the highest in the world. And I must admit, we are paying more than any other country in the world. 6.9 means that we are paying over $1.10 a liter. In the US, they are paying 23 cents a liter. And we are paying $1, a poor country like Ghana. And we say we have oil. Am I right? Yes. We have Jubilee Park. So where is the proceeds of the Jubilee Park? And why the increment of fuel prices on daily basis? What is happening? Utility tariffs are on the rise almost every day. Transport fares are increased every week, thereby worsening the plight of the citizens. Many are in deplorable situation. Ladies and gentlemen, finally let me comment on the issue of LGBTQ++++. And its debates in Ghana. Our country, Ghana, is dominated by Christians, Muslims, and traditional worshippers. We are a nation of believers and traditions. As a Muslim, Hassan Ayarega, as a Muslim, I support the bill. And I want Ghanaians to know that we cannot accept such barbaric behavior or act in our society. What will be the fate of this country if a woman or a man decides to marry a dog or a horse, what kind of human species will be introduced in the world? Because if we agree that to happen, a woman can marry a dog, and definitely they are going to have the do. And when they have the do, they are going to produce something else. What is that? What kind of human beings are they going to produce? I don't know. Are they going to live with you? Or if a man decides to marry a horse or a cow and they produce, where are we going to put these kinds of human beings? How are they going to talk? How are they going to walk? How are they going to look like? Or if your child get up in the morning and say, Daddy, Mommy, I want to be 40 years old, so I want to get married. Yes, you are supposed to allow her or him to change their ages to an adult and they can marry. So what are we doing to our kids? Are we going to have sex with kids? This is not about the pleasure. This is demonic. This is demonic. This time, let us all put political partisanship aside and stand firm to make the right decision for our country, Ghana. Let us not allow the Constitution to give people the right to abuse their right. There are certain rights when they give you, you're going to abuse your right. If I give you a right to marry a dog, that is not right. So the Constitution, we will not allow the Constitution to give that right to anybody. They are rich. These people, they are rich. When I was in Germany, I had a restaurant around their community. No, let me say I had a restaurant and they were around my community, actually. Let me put it that way. And you see the way they behave. Man, it's sad. It's sad. This is not pleasure. Because our culture and tradition do not permit such abominable acts. In conclusion, I wish to draw our attention to the issue of challenges, the challenges affecting our lands and natural resources and properties. We are losing all our properties, lands, sovereignty to foreigners, all in the name of money, funds. Listen very well. We are losing our properties, our sovereignty, our lands, everything to the foreigners. And we are becoming 21st century slaves. Take a stroll around Spinters Road, East Legon. What do you call it? Reach all the big companies. And when you enter, you will realize that you're not in Ghana. Because the foreigners have taken over. Every big company in this country is owned by foreigners. Every huge property in this country is owned by foreigners. Where do we stand? What is the future like for us in the few years to come? What is our generation going to, the generation after us, what are they going to get? So I will say, we must wake up quickly to save our resources from the future generation. And I believe we must all act to defend our nation and our sovereignty. I thank you all for coming. God bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you.